I knew Greg would be watching all my latest tutorials, probably with tears in his eyes and a broken heart. Bless him. Anyway, if he was paying attention, I might just be able to get out of here. My next tutorial: escape a hostage scenario while breaking out some badass finger-tutting moves. Beat that, ditto. My secret message was never going to be detected by Gringo's entourage. They're so dumb. They could make a reboot of Dumb and Dumber. I told Greg about everything. I had no idea where I was, but I knew Greg would find a way to find me. All I needed to do was pray that Greg could remember his stupid language. It was around a week or so later when we were finally reunited. I was hanging out at the private beach when all of a sudden, I saw Greg clambering over the rocks towards me. My heart leaped. My God, Greg was never really that sexy, but seeing your man rescuing you is a whole new level. Seriously, girls, I really thought my panties dropped seeing Greg coming to rescue me. I was gonna be free. And so were the rest of those girls. It was too dangerous for Greg to come any further. If they saw him, both of us would be screwed. So we planned my escape for later that night, when I knew security was light and Gringo would be preoccupied with his 7 wives. It went exactly to plan. Well, almost. I snuck out of my bedroom window and tiptoed across the roof as quietly as I could. There was a dirt track running around the back of the villa, and I knew there were no cameras there. That was our meeting point. The problem was, I had to pass over the dog kennel to get to it, and these weren't just any dogs. These were angry, bloodthirsty pit bulls Gringo used for his illegal dog fights. Obviously, as soon as I stepped onto the roof, they started barking and growling like crazy. All the floodlights surrounding the villa turned on, and I could hear Gringo's men patrolling the area. It was now or never. I threw myself off the roof and landed in a heap on the ground. Greg was right there waiting for me in a beat-up hire car. I got in and we drove up into the mountains. My heart was pounding like hell. We came across an old abandoned barn to hide out in until morning. It was looking out over the sea. The stars were shining. It was actually kind of romantic. Until we found Ishmael in the trunk. The hell? I thought it was all over. My escaped plot had been foiled. I'd have to go back to living that awful, lonely existence, but I couldn't have been more wrong. According to Ishmael, our entire marriage was a ploy to cover up the fact that he, the heir to one of Europe's most powerful dynasties, is gay. He always hated his father, the rest of his family, and everything they stood for. All he's ever wanted was to live his own life and bring them down. I'm totally fine knowing he's gay as long as he keeps his greasy hands off my Greg. That night, we agreed that that was exactly what we were going to do. Only there was another problem. Our hideout was used by Gringo to stage his dog fights. Talk about coincidence and bad luck, right? There was a chance that this was one of the first places they would come looking for us. We needed to leave ASAP. Ishmael directed us to a hotel where he said we'd be safe. But in the middle of the night, Gringo's men came bursting into our door and took us away. They brought us to a vacant warehouse and tied us all to wooden chairs. Armed guards were surrounding us. We were all petrified. It felt like hours before Gringo showed up carrying a metal briefcase, which we soon found out was his torture kit. Greg was the first victim. Gringo demanded to know who Greg was and how he knew where to find me. If Greg told the truth about the message, I was in big trouble. Instead, Greg said nothing and Gringo got to work. First, he attached all these wires to Greg's arms and legs and electrocuted him. What the freaking hell? I swear I will beat Gringo to a bloody pulp for doing that to my little Greggy boy. Gringo was pissed after getting no answers from Greg. I could see the rage building up inside of him as he paced around the warehouse listening to the news. Then someone called Gringo. The caller told him his whole illegal business was exposed. When he hung up, he turned to me. "I'm gonna kill you," he growled. I've never seen so much evil in someone's eyes as he walked towards me with his torture kit. His goons tied me to a chair. Greg and Ishmael were yelling at Gringo to stop, but 2 of his men dragged them away. They were gone, but I was far from alone. You see, my dependable Greg had a plan. When Greg deciphered my message, he passed it on in a video to all my fans, and the whole thing went viral. I'm serious. It caught the attention of freaking Interpol, who enlisted Greg, my dorky boyfriend, to go find me. A few hours earlier, on the way to the hotel, I posted a video exposing Gringo's human trafficking operations to the whole world. Whoopsie! It was right as Gringo was about to flick the switch to electrocute me to death when a SWAT team came barging into the warehouse. Talk about impeccable timing. Everybody down now! It was total chaos. Shots were being fired from everywhere. Even though I was tied to a chair, I totally did my best to copy Neo, dodging bullets like in the Matrix. They arrested Gringo and a bunch of his men. Thankfully, Greg and Ishmael were found unharmed. It turned out that before they sent Greg on his mission, Interpol fitted a GPS tracking device underneath his skin. That way, they knew where to find us if it all went haywire. When we got back to the US, Greg and I moved in together. I haven't spoken to my parents in years. They went to jail and lost all their money. Good riddance to them. They can rot in hell for all I care. I'm still in touch with some of my siblings. They told me that when everything happened, the family split in half. One side obviously didn't give a damn about me and enjoyed the money. The other side couldn't live with what Mom and Dad had done. I never found out what happened to Ishmael. The human trafficking ring was shut down, but I'm sure there was still plenty of his family members out for revenge. Today, I run a successful production company making all kinds of YouTube videos, and Greg edits them all. We still get a bunch of stupid comments, but one of them always grabs my attention. It's from a guy called Prince Izzy. "Wifey on fleek" is all it says. At least I know he's safe.